I went ahead and started it, Donna.
Okay.
Tell me, what do you think about what we could do as a people? How we can make a change? What's missing to make this happen?
We were talking about the issues that people along the Jersey Shore are having with their houses and the difficulties that they're having with trying to reestablish or get insurance payments. And the problem, seems to me, is that everyone is seeing it from an individual perspective rather than from a collective perspective. And what those people could do, in my opinion, is to organize themselves around the thing which unites them, and that's the troubles that they're having in reclaiming their property and reestablishing themselves. And they become an affinity group. And that there would be more power in doing it that way than in each within the concept of individualism, trying to address the issues with the insurance company rather than doing it as a group.
Right.
And the model that I cited was the model of the Newtown parents.
Yes.
That they could have each continued in their individual grief and bereavement, but they decided to organize and found a new promise. And they have gained a lot of power and interest. And this is fundamental to the ideas of Saul Alinsky, in that people come together and reach out among themselves based upon what they share most, and that's the affinity for their own identity in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about this from my experience teaching philosophy and teaching the work of Paulo Freire, the Brazilian educator, who in his book about pedagogy of the past talks about changing people's consciousness and moving toward liberation. And that in the society now, that there needs to be a movement away from individualism towards the collective aspects of society. And that the new consciousness of freedom, a new consciousness of changing the rules and roles that we're in the society, to form new systems which help us to solve the problems that we have. And as long as individual homeowners along the Jersey Shore see themselves as in a struggle against an oppressive force which is telling them that what they believed in wasn't true, then they're never going to be successful, or they'll be less successful. And if they got together and started to hold affinity group meetings and organize themselves to confront the oppressive forces of the insurance industry by themselves.
Yeah.
As a group rather than by themselves. So that was my thinking, that was our discussion. And it's based upon a history of groups organizing themselves against oppressive forces.
Has anything like that been started already, in your opinion? Or what would it take, if not, to start something like that, a movement like that, an actual movement that would take hold?
The Canadians have been really effective at this during times when they had downturns in the economy, that they found themselves low-income families together, organized to find a way out of that morass that they were in. And when the steel industry started to leave the Pittsburgh area, groups of unemployed people organized themselves as the unemployed. They accepted that identity rather than the identity of individualism, that we can find our way out, and if I get a job, I leave my neighbors behind. So that they organized, they even formed an organization called the Unemployed, and they had an office, and it was a mutual self-help organization. And there may be others. I think the Occupy movement that took place was an effort to confront oppressive forces in society by coming together around an affinity for freedom and for liberation. And that freedom and liberation is going to have to be, I guess I would say gently, a new force for change. That more than, and not let, I'll just say it this way, and not let the media send us back into individualism, which is it's media reports about people sharing it. It's media reports about people overcoming tragedy, but moving back into individualism rather than into a more collective society where you can organize yourself as a group that's fighting against an oppressive force. And the major oppressive force is in the mind. In the mind where we're taught that I am an individual and I am not my brother's keeper, for instance. So that's as much as I can say right now.
Fundamental change from where we should be.
In consciousness.
Yes.
And not only from reforming the systems that we're in, but creating new systems where people can choose and accept their affinities that they can work with. There's the major growing affinity that I'm thinking about in this moment is the affinity of the wounded warriors that are returning from having gone out to wage war against an enemy of the country, and then now they're coming back to find that the country can't put money into the resources for them, can't help them reestablish their families, can't help them find the kinds of medical supports that they need.
Employment opportunities.
There's an affinity group, and they should organize.
PTSD issues.
I'm just talking random. The largest affinity group that goes through Memorial Day every day is every month, every year is the Rolling Thunder. The Vietnam veterans. They refuse to let the country forget who they were and what they did. So they get on their motorcycles and they come through. And they different kind of contribution to this society. So that's just my thinking at the moment.
Yeah. So to kick off a movement like this, what do you think could be a good catalyst, or what ideas have you already come up with, politically or individually, or individuals coming together as a group? What could be an individual specific catalyst to really kick this off?
So one or two homeowners along the Jersey Shore just invite everybody over to coffee and say, look, we're all facing the same problem. Let's find a way that we can address this problem. That would be the beginning in someone's living room, someone's car. The other I mentioned in our conversation, the other affinity group is the middle class unemployed man that is trying to find. It just makes me sick to hear the stories of these men that are writing up 1,000 resumes and trying to find a job rather than getting together and not in support groups to find a job, but in support groups to change the system which threw them out of work after they committed themselves to the American dream.
Or maybe even better, maybe we could even use some of that unemployment as volunteer labor, but find a way to compensate them that is meaningful. Rather than an unemployment check going for nothing, perhaps systems could be set up, ideas could be created where they could promote volunteerism through the process of some of our entitlement programs that have mutual benefits, potentially.
Well, there's a long-standing tradition that if the work doesn't come to you or you can't get a job, make a job.
Yes.
That's been a long-standing tradition, particularly in black communities, that your job has very little to do with your occupation. And if you have to make a job, you make a job. That's a real form of entrepreneurship. That might be a way to move in that area. I'm not as clear about the volunteer aspect because
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm not as clear about the volunteer aspect because people do lots of volunteer work now, but it's within the concept of individualism. I have given 1,000 hours to project A, rather than we are working to create something, a new system where you can contribute to society. There are groups that are organized around that concept.
I mean, we could organize around the concept of too small to fail.
Absolutely.
Yeah, every homeowner, every one of them is too small to fail.
That's about all I can say at the moment.
Donnell, you want to tell us a little bit about your name and your background and where you're from? Educational background, a little bit.
I'm Dr. John L. Johnson. I'm here in Asbury Park because my son is the mayor and we came to support him in this program when the president came to Asbury Park. I'm a retired university professor, but I still do adjunct work at the University of Mary Washington in Fredericksburg, Virginia, where I teach a course on Paulo Freire's pedagogy of the oppressed. Mainly, it's a liberatory philosophy, and I teach the students how they can free themselves from the oppressive forces and the philosophy of the banking system of education, in which they are pawns to or objects of another's ideology, and that they find a way to this liberatory philosophy by first changing their state of consciousness and learning to question whatever it is that's in their lives that needs to be questioned, and learn to find a way to renew their understanding of what learning is.
What did you take from the event today with Governor Christie and President Obama?
Political. It's a firm political ideology that they are committed to rebuilding, committed to making a change in relationships. Where you have overcoming a model for overcoming the political gridlock that is in Washington, D.C. It'll have an effect here, but the system is going to sink back into the capitalistic structure.
Yeah.
That those who can afford to invest will invest, and that businesses will come back. But what about the major problems that lie underneath the surface?
Yeah.
Underneath the surface, there are small businesses in this town who were closed for 10 days without electricity, and all of their food supplies are gone. But there's no way that they can recover. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
There are institutions in this town, as in every other city, that need help, not just in terms of the tourist industry, but in terms
Pleasure
of...
to meet you.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Okay, we're making a video and
Say hello.
About it. Hi, how are you?
head of the Chamber of Commerce of Asbury Park
would be
is here,
me.
and
Fantastic.
Proud day.
we're beginning to talk about all of these businesses trying to get some help and some recovery.
That's exactly right. Today's a good start.
That's what
So
we're
that is it.
That's it. Last call. Stone Pony.